But hey, this is an important event. It's an important event for the Marine Corps. It's an important event for Cal Fires, the local community. Fires is a reality within Southern California, within California, and as a Marine Corps, we're very concerned of not only protecting our installations and our Marines and our families, but also being good neighbors and helping out outside the wire to help out if that mutual aid is needed. And we have a long relationship with the state and the local fire departments. And this exercise is extremely important to continue to build on it and get better. And that's what we do as a military. We train for the worst and then able to respond to that training. So without any further ado, I know there's other people that are going to speak, but I just want to welcome especially General Baldwin and all the leadership that's here today. It's really truly an interagency event. So thanks. And G-Man, who's next? You want me to speak longer?
I got some water up here for you, General. So, no, again, part of the great team, obviously, we have in the air with the Cal Fire with Chief Cheney, but also up there as far as the Director, Chief Pimblott. Thanks very much here for coming down. So I'd like to introduce you now, sir.
Stand up there. Nobody tells me.
We just go where they tell us, General. That's what we do. Good morning, Ken Pimblott, Director, Cal Fire. And wow, I think the worst day out here beats the best day in the office back home. That really provides a sense of pride with our armed forces and the military and the partnership, as General Collins talked about, with the fire service, both at the state and local level. Very impressive. We're making the trek statewide this week to get the word out about Wildfire Awareness Week. The governor Governor Brown has pronounced this entire week Wildfire Awareness Week. And despite the rain that we've had in March and April, the state in many places is below 50% of its normal rainfall. We're already seeing many areas of the state we're seeing fire activity and vegetation dry. And it's critical right now that we get the word out about fire conditions in California and what we as the fire service and our military partners are doing to prepare, as well as what homeowners and property owners in California need to do to prepare. California is no stranger to conditions that produce significant fires. We've seen that over the years, particularly right here in Southern California, San Diego County, and right here on the base at Camp Pendleton. 2003 and 2007 were very significant fire years for Southern California. We were already responded to 3 times the number of fires this year to date than we have had last year. And if that's indicative of the conditions to come, then we know, just like every year, we're preparing for and have the potential for large and damaging fires. What's important to understand is that 94% of the fires in California are started by people. And what that means for us as the fire service is that 94% of the fires can be prevented if they're started by people. So the importance and the whole force behind Wildfire Awareness Week is to provide the education, the awareness to property owners in California about what you need to do to prepare yourself. We've been working throughout the spring as the fire service to train. We've had Cal Fire and our local government cooperators and our federal partners, Forest Service, BLM, and others have been going through our fire readiness exercises. Our engine companies, our hand crews have been training. We're ready. We've had our training with the National Guard at our academy in Ione, where we have trained on helicopter operations. We are this week training here with our partners with the Marine Corps and the Navy, again, to provide the punch, if you will, against wildland fire. We are providing the offense as the fire service and the military. We're expecting homeowners, the residents, to provide that defense. Do what you need to do to prepare yourself for the fire. You can go to our website, readyforwildfire.org. Homeowners can get all the information they need to prepare for wildfire. It's an award-winning website that has all the information that you need. The key piece of that website is Ready, Set, Go. That's the 3-word phrase that we're using across the country to bring home the message. Ready means you as a homeowner need 100 feet of defensible space around your house. Get your house ready. Do all those things you need to do to clear the vegetation, provide address marking so firefighters can find you, provide access, everything so that your home can be defended in a wildland fire. It means set. That means you need to get your family set ahead of the fire before it starts with a disaster plan so that you can safely prepare your family in the event of not just a wildfire, but an earthquake, a flood, all of the disasters that we know occur in California throughout the decades. And lastly, it's the go. It means go, just that. It means when you are given an evacuation order or even ahead of an evacuation order in advance of a fire, that you safely leave the area quickly and safely so that firefighters can get into the area and protect your home. So again, have that evacuation plan in place so that you can do it well ahead of time. Again, today we've had a great opportunity. You'll hear from many, many others about preparedness and cooperation. I want the key message here as we do a flyby. We'll wait for just a second. Well, right on cue, I want to thank Camp Pendleton, the Marine Corps, for hosting us here today. I want to thank all of our fire service partners, the Navy, the National Guard, for participating with us. On behalf of all of our partners in the fire service, I'd like to invite General Colonnades to come forward. We have a proclamation that we would like to present. General, on behalf of Governor Brown, it's very long, I won't read it, but the very summarized version is the governor has declared, again, this Wildfire Awareness Week. This today is the cornerstone of that message and demonstrating to California how we, as the fire service and the military in California, are prepared, and we thank you very much for all of your efforts today.
Hey, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Put that in the headquarters.
Awesome.
Thanks.
You, General.
Thanks a lot.
With that, I would like to invite Major General Dave Baldwin, Adjutant General of the California National Guard, to come forward.
Thanks, Chief. Interagency coordination and cooperation is critical to any fight. It's especially critical here at home when we're fighting wildfires, where lives and property of the citizens of California are at stake. That's what makes exercises like this so important, where we can come together not just to train on the technical and tactical skills that our firefighters, our soldiers, our sailors, and Marines will employ in the firefight, but also to develop those interagency partnerships and further the cooperation and opportunities to get to know each other better and work together so when the real event comes, we're ready to rock. The California National Guard has worked very aggressively with our interagency partners in the United States Forest Service, CAL FIRE, the California Emergency Management Agency, to prepare all of our air crews, both our helicopter crews and our air tanker crews, in addition to airmen ready to go do ground firefighting operations if called upon by the governor or at the need of any of the fire services. So we stand ready to, as part of this interagency team, to aggressively attack any fires that threaten lives and property in California. We're especially excited this year to continue our growing partnership with both the Navy and the Marine Corps to get further integrated the entire joint team from the Department of Defense, that in the event that the civil authorities need us, we're ready to go. Here in California, we have the most well-advanced interagency cooperation. Mutual aid was invented by our fire services here in California. We are the best, but we can always continue to work better, and we'll do that to ensure that Californians remain safe. And with that, I'll be followed by the Fire Chief, Branch Chief from the California Emergency Management Agency, Chief Kim Zagaris.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here and to represent my agency and the Honorable Secretary Mark Ghilarducci. Our agency, as you imagine, like any other of the agencies behind me, has been very busy coordinating with our partners and allied agencies and preparing for this year's fire season, attending pre-fire season meetings annual refresher trainings and exercises such as today. We're especially proud of our relationship with CAL FIRE, the California National Guard, the U.S. Marine Corps, the U.S. Navy, and our federal fire partners. The California Fire and Rescue Mutual Aid System works with this group of people, represents 1,000 fire agencies, and includes the local agencies and our tribal fire agencies. Camp Pendleton Fire Department also participates in the California Fire and Rescue Mutual Aid System, and we're very happy to have them part of that. As we're coordinating this year's preseason fire meetings and preparing for this fire season, we'd like to join CAL FIRE and the other agencies in reminding the citizens and visitors of the state to be prepared, not only in their homes, but in their visits in the wildland and their activities within the state. Much like Chief Pendleton's already said, please be ready, be set, and go when necessary. Thank you very much. And I'd like to introduce Gene Wade Evans, who is the U.S. Forest Service Deputy Regional Forester for Region 5.
Thank you. What an impressive fire suppression exercise today. My father was a fighter pilot, but I haven't seen this much iron in one day in a long time. So it's nice to know people are exercising and working together thoughtfully in advance of this year's wildfire season. This Ready, Set, Go message that we're talking about this week is critical to all the people of California to be a full-fledged partner with all the local, state, and federal fire agencies in order to protect themselves from in the event of a catastrophic wildfire. And as we know here in California, it's not if, it's when. So these kinds of exercises, this showing of interagency, intergovernment support is critical, and it's a good opportunity to see all that in action today. As we all know, there's lots of good interagency examples of us working together. We heard about mutual aid. We heard what we didn't hear about was the incident command system, which was also invented here in Southern California a couple decades ago, that we use in terms of large fire suppression efforts. But we're constantly evolving in this arena, as we've seen today. And one of the things that's going on right now is Veterans Green Corps. It's a 2-year-old effort between the Forest Service, military, and the California Conservation Corps, providing wildland fire suppression training opportunities to our vets coming back, and key forest restoration and wildland fire training and jobs here in California. So that was kicked off last year. We're continuing that effort, and several of those crews are going to be working right here in this area this year, and we've got California Conservation Corps represented here today as well. Also, annually, 50 fire departments, Forest Service, and Camp Pendleton works on the annual fire training school, which I've been able to participate in years past. Very impressive live fire exercise, honing those skills, getting ready for fire season. So I just want to point out a couple other specific great interagency, intergovernment partnerships that are going on. Ken talked about how this fire season is setting up and how the cooperators are all prepared. I just want to also assure you that the U.S. Forest Service is prepared for this fire season. We've got several thousand trained firefighters ready to go in California alone. We've got many air and ground resources ready, and we're going to deploy an aggressive initial response to any fire situation with total mobility. And we're going to draw on national resources in order to achieve that mission. So this is a good interagency, intergovernmental message today. It's the only way we can do this job. And having the citizens of California understand that the role that they're going to play in this is going to be key as well. I want to thank Chief Pendleton and the General for hosting this today and allowing the Forest Service to be a part of that. Thank you.
And now I'd like to introduce Chief Tom Porter here, who's a unit chief for San Diego from CAL FIRE.
Well, good morning, and I am, let's see, I'm just making sure, I am the last. So, so you won't have to hear any more talking heads, but I'm gonna speak to the local perspective. I'm the unit chief here in San Diego, talking on behalf of CAL FIRE, also in partnership with the County Fire Authority. We've been doing this as a unit, this training for years now, and it's it's been brought to my attention that General Colonnese is the first general from the Marine Corps who's made it out to this event, and I don't know if it's the extra attention, but thank you very much for being here. It's absolutely important that we further this partnership and collaboration for when we have the next big one here in San Diego or nearby hills of Southern California. Again, I'm speaking to the local perspective. We've heard about the statewide situation with Wildfire Awareness Week and the drought conditions. We are lucky enough to see green hills at this point. Most of the state does not see that. We're relatively green as far as it goes, which is an anomaly for San Diego, as those of you who live here and work here know. We, with the Fire Authority, meaning CAL FIRE and the Fire Authority, through our partnership, have embarked on our annual Defensible Space inspection program. To date, we have about 3,000 inspections done. We are on track to do about anywhere from 600 to 800 a week, and we'll continue those through our high priority areas and then throughout the backcountry to help landowners understand what it is they need to do to be ready, so they can then get set and go when it's time. So with that said, I want to thank Director Pimlott for coming down, Gene Wade Evans for coming and representing the Forest Service, General Baldwin, and Kim Zagaris, as well as our Marine Corps hosts here today. This is something we'll be back to next year, so hopefully you'll come out and see us again. With that, I'm finished. Thank you.
And I know many of us came from far away and also up in Sacramento as well. But I do want to take this opportunity to really thank the executive staff of the CAL FIRE who did come down here as well. So thank you very much for coming. And additionally, the U.S. Forest Service, the executive staff came down here as well. So again, we appreciate this partnership as well. Thank you. Just so we don't have the Marine Corps stealing the microphone a little more, I did want to introduce personally and bring up here Chief Ray Cheney from the Verona Air Attack Base. Again, like I said earlier, he was the one in the Helico aircraft coordinating it all. So I'd like to introduce Chief Cheney.
Thanks, G-Man. What you've heard today is cooperation. Born out of the disasters that strike California is the cooperative agreements we have with the 3rd Fleet, Navy Region Southwest, Marine Corps Installations West, and 3rd Marine Air Wing. It's a pleasure to work with such professionals as G-Man, Captain Bull, Lieutenant Colonel Weir are all outstanding individuals that helped this program come together. You'll see this program has evolved over a period of time, and this program is designed to do one thing. That's to serve the citizens of California in a time of disaster with agility and the ability to respond effectively to any disaster that may strike California, and that's in an all-risk venue. We train hard, and we train like we fight with these aircraft in a wildland environment. But we all recognize that California has other emergencies and other disasters that will strike, including earthquakes or other natural or man-made disasters. The benefit of having this cooperative relationship and these letters of agreements with the Marines and the Navy is our ability to respond at an all-risk venue. Whatever strikes California, CAL FIRE, Navy, and Marine Corps are prepared to respond. And with that, just thank you for your time today.
So this will conclude the formal portion of the fifth wildland firefighting exercise here aboard Camp Pendleton. Again, appreciate everybody's participation, support, and again, we invite you back for next year when we'll do it again. So again, we'll remain here. The formal portion is concluded right now. For those who need to ask questions and such, we'll remain around. Those who